Welcome back to another episode of Super Smash Secrets. I'm your host today, Darkblues, and today we'll be going over two zoner characters. Now, before I was a Kazuya player, I indulged in a lot of keep away characters. I just kind of got an interest to them. The first character that we'll be going over today, one of my favorites, is Ricter Belmont. Now, the difference between Simon and Ricter has always been a question to a lot of players. Which one do I choose, Simon or Ricter? Honestly, you want to know the real big difference between both of them? Holy water. That's it. One has aura fire, and the other one has regular fire. So blue fire versus red fire, whichever one, there's no significant difference at all whatsoever. Maybe the taunts, the aesthetics, the voice lines, sure, but they generally play the same. So if anybody refers to any of the Castlevania characters, they refer to them as Belmonts, because it really doesn't matter what character you choose unless it's for a specific matchup, but we'll get into that later. So first thing I want to show off with Ricter, this character is just completely Castlevania. If you've played a Castlevania game before, you are familiar with this walk. You're familiar with this whip. You can hold the whip out and use it just like in the Castlevania games. If you've played games like Symphony of the Night, you'd know that Ricter has the similar moveset. The dash attack, all of this, I mean, you can't do it in the air like in the actual game, but that'll be cool. Even tethering to the stage, all aesthetically there. His items, they're all there. They're just ported into a Smash game. And honestly, I couldn't ask for more. Let's get down to the basics of Ricter. So your main utility move, one thing that you're gonna always be using as a keep away character, your forward tilt. If your opponent's blocking this, they're not gonna punish you again. There's no way. You do this multiple times on someone's shield, they're just limited. The best thing you can do as a Belmont player is to try and limit your opponent from moving freely, because Ricter has, even though he has great range, he can attack at 8 different angles. I mean, albeit they're a little precise. There's maybe a little bit of a difference, but it makes a big difference angle-wise. So when you jump in the air, you can decelerate where you land. But Ricter tries to jump back after committing to a forward jump. It's not happening. He's moving forward no matter what. So exploiting slow airspeed versus Ricter is one of his just big key weaknesses. Also on the fact that this is the only way he can come back, because if I try to come back from here, it's almost impossible. And that was a buff from last time. Very, very hard. If I get knocked out over here and I can't come back, it's pretty much curtains. Lose my jump, gone. So let's go over some aerials. Up air, very far reaching, very good move. Most of his smash attacks are just the full extent of the whip. The ones that aren't are honestly the ones that are the most used, aside from F-tilt. So neutral air. Your neutral air is a multi-hitting move that if you were to look at it on I guess an hitbox display, there's gonna be like 4 corners of the move that you would just see active. This move deceptively goes through a lot of players' shields, especially when it's a little low. So you want to kind of use this for just kind of poking at someone's shield. It's really good on block. A lot of people can't really contest it. And when you land with it, there's a little landing hitbox. You have to drag people down with this move as well. See, as you saw Wolf, he was not able to get out of that. So at later percents, that actually starts comboing into smash attacks, but especially at like percentages like this. Forward air, this is a really, really precise move. If you're jumping around and throwing this move out and you can't hit your opponent, you gotta try harder. It's just all skill based. And you know, you played Castlevania, you already know. You know, it's a hard skill curve. I mean, it gets easier when you figure it out, but this move, if we put it into technical details, it's only active for 1 frame. And in this game, we run at 60 frames per second. So generally, every move in this game has about 2 frames of activity. Let's see. Let's go to my 1 frame by frame. So, oh man, look how cool he is. Look at this dude. So this move right there, where you saw the little lash effect, that's the only time that move has any activity. So aside from that, a lot of opponents can kind of jump over that. It's a very strict timing that the Ricter player has to commit to. And the back air, you should check out how he extends his hand. You see that whiplash? You see the whiplash for a bit? It sticks around for a little bit. So you can't see the hitbox and what's happening here, but this lash effect kind of gives you an indication of how active this move is. And it's the same angles as the forward air as well. So a lot of Richters like to generally use their keep out tools. So we'll go back to our forward tilts, and then want to come back, or, you know, it puts them in a grounded state. You can throw a back air out here. It's stronger than the forward air. And you know, a key thing with Ricter is that always using the tip of the whip with maximum damage. Forward smash, that is the one of the longest ranges in the game. Also hits downward, so if some opponent's hanging on the ledge, they're gonna get snapped by that. Let's go over some special moves. Cross, basically a boomerang, it comes back. Axe, you can angle it far, inward, or outward. If you have it thrown outward and somebody's shielding, this forward smash and this axe combos. That's a true combo. They can't parry it, they can't do anything. This axe does so much damage and hit stun that if your opponent's shielding the axe, they can't roll, they can't unblock, they can't parry the next move. So on the tip of this whip will guarantee you shield break. That's a general little secret. I can't show this one off particularly, but the first secret I do want to start showing is actually, this one's pretty cool. It's not usually used as often, but it does catch a lot of unsuspecting opponents. So let's put Wolf at about 53% maybe. Yeah, that's about good. I'll put my self-stimulus on just for the freshness boost. Let's put Ricter about like 65 rage. Yeah, this will work. So that is a true combo. Your opponent can't get out of that. A retreating cross, that whole sequence is completely true. One of the nicest kill confirmed you can get in this game. Ooh, pop. Ooh. It's a little tough. You gotta get some rhythm into it and just kind of understand where the range of the cross is. So just kind of count in your head. You can smash toss this. Smash toss meaning I can throw the cross. If I flick it, it goes farther. So if I soft press it, it doesn't go as far. But if I flick it, it goes almost twice the range. Soft pressing it only gets me here, and then flicking it gets me further. Same with the angles. Holy water is the same, has the same effect. In the air, it's a different angle. In the ground, it's actually farther in the ground. I mentioned cross. So you see how Richter's throwing this cross, and then afterwards he catches it. Now, if you're landing with a move like down air has a lot of recovery frames, but you can cancel it with the cross catch, and it actually makes things a lot faster. So if you're landing on a platform, you're planning on landing fast, you could just catch the cross on a landing, and then you just completely cancel the entire animation. This animation cancel is very important for Richters who want to come fast fall down, and cross is kind of thrown down as like a setup move. Just kind of throw it out there. Make sure your opponent disrespects you. They have to jump or shield or roll around the cross. So that's a stage hazard for them. It's a beneficial to you. So, going back to our last point of Ricter being the keep away character that has a little bit of limited options, but they're very strong. And the main point of the character is to limit your opponent throwing out all these items and manipulating them into doing what you want them to do, so you can finally close out a stock and get a free stock. Well, free stock. It's pretty free when you start figuring it out. It's a very simple character, just a very glaring weakness. Not a great grab game and not a great offstage game. But aside from that, very solid character. From here, we're moving on to another all-range character. Has kind of the same tricks as Ricter, but a little bit more studious, you might say, in the multi-weapon arts. So Byleth is another keep-away character, very much designed in the same light as Ricter's. A sword for a whip. I mean, that's pretty cool. But the way Ricter plays is he uses his items to limit spatial movement. Byleth uses his range to do that with a little bit more succession in covering a lot of angles with active moves. So Byleth has 4 weapons that he uses. He uses a sword that turns into a whip. You got a sword that turns into this guy. Your side moves that are spears. Your spear move. You have your down moves. All your down moves are an axe. This is the really, so you want to really save this for a really meaty move. You feel like your opponent's shielding too much. This will break it. You want to really go for that combo, that spike off stage. Absolutely go for it. You could probably come back. That was very close. I was almost able to come back. Byleth has a better recovery than Ricter, but Ricter has 2 ways of coming back. Byleth only has 1, and another one if you get really lucky, your opponent's really unsuspecting. So, and then the other move is your bow. So your bow, you have 1 little projectile. You charge it, which, if you land this in a real match, your props to you, man. That's cool. You can turn this move around. You can also you can jump cancel it. You can shield cancel it, but you can't do that really in the air. You shield cancel it in the air, you're going to get an air dodge, and that's going to ruin kind of like the flow of what you want. And so B reversing, which is so kind of in the same light of a reverse aerial rush. When you B reverse a move, you're pressing back or away or the opposite direction of wherever you are facing. And when that happens, right, your momentum also goes with you. So this is generally used in areas where you kind of want to cover space without moving too much in the air. So if I'm gonna put this wolf down here and do that, well, without fast falling, it's a little bit more precise, but B reversing is kind of used as it's just an air mix-up. So this is very much used to fake out an opponent who seemingly thinks that you might want to swing this move in the air a lot. You're just kind of like, whoop. Well, it's a little tough on this guy. So Byleth has an interesting move kit. So you see, Wolf is at 52 right now. This move, his recovery move, the Sword of the Creator, will spike downward. So one of my favorite things to do is just kind of go out there and bye-bye. But when it's before 50%, you reset, it'll actually send it sideways. And this is very heavily dependent on how your opponent uses their directional influence. But most of the time, you kind of just get a guaranteed combo. If I land. This is your main juggle tool. At any point in time, somebody's just trying to land, nobody's contesting this move. Not even in an air dodge. They try and fast fall air dodge this, it's just not happening. Byleth is a jack of all trades character. His main weakness is still shared with Ricter, where he doesn't really have the airspeed to be non-committal. When he jumps forward, he kind of is just in place if you have to reel back, which is why Byleth heavily rely on using their fail knot, the bow, the name of the bow, to mix around close quarter spacing. And just like Ricter, a multi-hit nair, which is actually, this one's a lot better than Richter's. So well, your general kill confirm combo would be something around here to an up smash, or down tilt to an up air. This is a, we don't have a specific name for it yet, but there'll probably be one soon. All right, let's go over some secrets. So, my favorite secret with Byleth, we'll go over the recovery move again. So Byleth has one way of coming back, right? Since you've already grabbed the ledge before, this is very fast, so bear with me on this one. When you press up B, hold down instantly. As soon as you press up and B, press down immediately. And then the end result is a pretty sticky reversal situation that your opponent has to deal with. That's a really nice way of getting out of the corner. Byleth has a lot of moves that kind of do that. Specifically moves like this, where you can just kind of do this and grab the ledge. It's kind of free roam, just kind of like get off me, give me some space. I'm coming back to the stage. You want to deal with this? By all means, yeah, be my guest. You're gonna take a lot of damage. You can grab your opponent or the wall, and you get a free wall jump. You don't even have to use your double jump to do it. And you just kind of jump around your opponent's pressure. That's one of my favorite secrets. The last one, if you try to ledge trump your opponent, which means that your opponent's hanging on the ledge and they're taking their time, you can harass them by going here, instantly, having them manually forced off the ledge, and follow up with an air bar. If you smash the air bars, if you smash side B, you'll go really far. If you don't, you just kind of stay in place. Same goes for the grounded version as well. To sum up Byleth, I would say if you like being a little bit more well-rounded and not having one glaring weakness with the sacrifice of a little bit of strength, a little bit of speed, and all those items and space control, this is definitely the character. We're gonna get our friend in here, and we'll play a couple matches. So joining me at player 2, we have Clay. Thanks for playing. Let's show off a couple more secrets that I really couldn't show in training mode. I don't know if you noticed that, it comes quick. So you notice that my entire ground movement, oh, you're up B! No! You notice me just landing on these platforms completely with no lag whatsoever. I like to call it a Belmont jump. The community likes to call it no impact landing. Basically, no impact landing is a state of air to ground that is completely seamless. Doing this actually helps Ricter extend a lot of combos on his platforms and gives him a lot of frame advantage, which you want as a character that's a zoner specifically. Yeah, I got something I could throw back to. Let's get a character like Marth. Let's get Marth in there. In this, I can show off a lot of what to do with a character who has a little bit more of a fast, far range, just as good as Byleth, if not sometimes better.
That's a true punch, by the way. So anytime you see that there's some moves that you can use, punish with your downward moves. Down smash, down air. You can really get those heavy hitting moves out when it's when you have the opportune moment. Definitely sink your teeth into some of those juicy moves. Ooh. Nice swipe. Position-wise, you always just want to be one step ahead. And I don't mean, no pun intended. That wraps up our Zoner episode of Super Smash Secrets. Stay tuned for more.